going to talk about the minimal pairs p and b. I have 15 students in the class preparing for their IELTS exam with a goal of reaching band 5 to 7. Their ages range from 18 to 30 and their levels are B1 to C1. I have 4 different nationalities: Arabic, Chinese, Italian and Turkish. I have noticed in their pronunciation when they have to write the words down that they get these sounds wrong. I'll say pie chart, they'll write bar chart and vice versa. So bar chart, pie chart, etc. It is common in section 1 in the listening test that they will have a surname which will be spelt out for them, like the surname Ball, which they'll write down Paul. In the Arabic language, the sounds are allophonic, which means that they're used rather randomly in the English language. There is no equivalent for the sound p, whereas for the sound b there is a near equivalent. For the Chinese, the sound b is voiceless in the Chinese language and is therefore transferred into the English language as such. The Italians don't really have a problem with this, and the Turkish students only have a problem with it when it follows certain sounds like the sound a or and then they add a linking word in between, so the word buy becomes boy. I started with a jigsaw dictation based on words we had covered earlier in the week. I had 2 groups, Group A and Group B. I gave Group A these words here, and then I gave Group B these words here. While I gave one group the words, the other group was outside the class, and then I brought the other group in, told the other ones to leave. At the end, they all came back in, they checked their vocabulary books for the spelling. I continued with showing the movement and the sounds. I explained that they were bilabial plosives, which of course meant absolutely nothing to my students. I said that they were explosions coming out of their mouths. I told them to repeat after me. I told them to put their hand here. I told them to switch the sound on. I told them to do this. B. Switch the sound off. P. On. B. Off. P. They should feel a movement or a vibration here when they're doing the b sound and not when they're doing the p sound. I individually drilled this sound, and then I did some choral drilling with some very simple words like pig, big, lap, lab. I then did another jigsaw dictation with the roles reversed, same list of words, and then I had them peer correct. After that, I grouped them based on their level, and we did an activity a bit like Pass the Message or Chinese Whispers. I basically had them do some brainstorming. For the B1 students, I had them brainstorming words that were related to food and animals, whereas for B2 and my one C1 student, who I grouped with them, I had them think of words related to health and the environment. These were topics we had covered in previous weeks, so they did know some of these words. Of course, these words had to have the sound b and p in them. What they had to do was have their phone out, record, pass, listen, write, record, pass, listen, write. And I did that twice for every student. Katerina, who's an Italian student who recently joined my class, found this activity a little boring, so I decided to challenge her. I told them that her words all had to be 3 syllables long. She enjoyed that and decided to take it a bit further and try to find me some 4-syllable words. Lisa, who's an intermediate Chinese student, found the sound b very difficult, so I partnered her up with another intermediate Chinese student who's very good with these sounds and has been in my class quite a long time, so he knows how this activity works. So they worked very well together. As an extra activity for homework, I told them to get a speech-to-text application on their phone, and instead of thinking of words like they did in the class, I gave them these words. So intermediate had these words, and the higher intermediate and my one C1 student had these words. So basically how this activity works is they would read the word into their phone. If it was pronounced correctly, it would appear as such. My high-level students found this activity quite boring, not the speech-to-text, but the whole thing, because they're very strongly focused and very strongly believe that IELTS skills is the only thing that they need to be doing in the class. I explained that pronunciation appears everywhere, speaking, writing, listening, so they tried a bit harder. The lower levels loved it, especially little breaks outside the classroom. I've seen a bit of improvement in their writing and their spelling. They still need a bit of prompting with the sound, so I've just point at these sounds on the board.